Guys, this is Undead here. The most recent mini box in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links gave us some Blackwing support cards. Unfortunately, I don't think that they help the deck all that much. So, I would like to show how much of the skill helps instead, and how much the most recent ban list also helps. Was it the most recent, or was the one before? I think it was the one before, where, what was it called? Orochi was unlimited, allowing us to play one copy of Blackbird Close. This is actually an underrated unhit. We kind of want more Blackbird Close, to be honest with you. If Konami, you're watching, give us some more. But yeah, it is a bit broken. If you have a Blackwing right on the field, you can like tribute it to negate your opponent's monster effect, and it is a counter trap. So, and as well, you might also special summon from your extra deck a Blackwing Dragon if you have one there. The skill puts one in your extra deck at the beginning of your turn. You can also activate this from your hand if you happen to control one of your Blackwings. But that aside, why am I not playing the new cards? Alright, the new cards that are worth talking about essentially are the new level 6 Synchro that lets you get an additional normal summon, and Colute, which essentially is a battle hand trap that makes your attacking or defending monster gain 14 attack during that battle. And that's cool and all. That's definitely cool, but it's kind of old-timey for Duel Links. You know what I mean? Like, we're kind of past the point where attack and defense points matter to that extent. You know what I mean? What really matters these days is having interruptions, or, you know, having versatility going first and second. In my opinion, if you are going second deck and you're honing really far into going second, then hey, yeah, man, if you go second, have good luck to your opponent. You're gonna win because you're honing in on it. What happens if you go first? You get killed because you don't have anything to stop your opponent from doing anything to you. The game is so aggressive now that you need to be able to put up something to stop them. So that is why this deck is entirely focused around Evil Swarm Nightmare. You might have seen in the short we posted yesterday. It requires 2 level 4 darks, like this one, or this one. And not once per turn, alright? Not once per turn. When your opponent special summons a monster, you can attach material to, like, flip it down like Book. But since it's on summon, it's like Floodgate. Something that I should mention real quick is, we all know about the restriction of Roach, right? Like, you can't use it like on something that was special summoned by a card effect. You can only use it like it's a summoning window card. You're negating a summon. You're not doing something once the monster is summoned. This happens in the window after what Roach is available to activate in. So you can negate something that was summoned with polymerization, for example, or, you know, something that was special summoned with a spell or a trap or a monster effect. You know, so that technically makes this not better because it doesn't negate the summon, but it is more versatile because it can hit more kinds of summons. Also, Roach can't negate Xyz summons. This can flip down Xyz summons, you know, and fusions. But yeah. That's why we focus on, you know, a little bit more of a classic play style, because, you know, as you might know if you've been in Duel Links for a couple of years, Blackwings doesn't really have an issue with OTKing. They excel at OTKing. It is something that they have no problem with and never have ever had a problem with it. If they have monsters they can kill. They just spam monsters a bunch. I will tell you about what they do in just a second, if you aren't aware. But I'm just essentially, you know, going over the theory of the deck first. But since it already is good at OTKing, I don't want to make it better at OTKing because I feel like that would be redundant. So putting this here, or if my opponent's playing a Synchro deck, I can summon this one instead. Having these options available to me going first makes my win percentage go up, because I'm also winning the games I go first, not just the games I'm going second. And I did go on a 9-game win streak at the top of Platinum, not in Legend just yet. But you know, I'm saving Legend for some more spicy competitive decks. But yeah, I think it was pretty representative of how good this deck is, even if you're going against top tier decks, just because this Nightmare here is just that good. Actually, what this deck focuses around is the continuous spell Black Whirlwind. It's not a part of the archetype, but you can search for it. It says whenever a Blackwing monster is normal summoned to your side of the field, you can add a Blackwing monster from your deck to your hand with less attack than that monster. So this is our biggest main deck monster. It has 19 attack. So if I normal summon this while I control Black Whirlwind, I can search any of my monsters. It is also not once per turn. If I control 2 of it, I can search twice. This one's 17, it can search the rest except for this one. This one's 16 and this one's 16, so it can search the rest except for this and this, and this one's 13, so it can only search for this one. However, the skill actually puts Mountain on your side of the field, which boosts your winged beasts, in the case of this deck, by 200 points, which means that if you look at any of the stats of these monsters, you need to increase it when you're considering what Black Whirlwind can search for. So Simoon the Poison Wind has 16 attack, but because of Mountain, it has 18 attack when it's on the field, so it can search for another copy of itself, or a Zephoros, or a Bora, which it would not ordinarily be able to without the Mountain. The skill is, I should probably go over the rest of the skill. It also puts Blackwing Dragon in your extra deck at the beginning of your turn, which is fantastic. You can also put a feather counter on your Blackwing Dragon, so you don't actually have to take damage to use Blackwing Dragon's effect, to reduce your opponent's monster. It's kind of nice. It doesn't come up, it really does not come up that much, but it can, you know what I mean? We have Forbidden Lance to protect us, but let's just go over the Blackwing effects themselves. The most important one in the whole deck is Simoon the Poison Wind. If you have it in your hand, you can banish a Blackwing from your hand to put a Black Whirlwind onto your field, and then you can normal summon it without tributing. This does not count as your normal summon for the turn. So this is essentially not only putting a Black Whirlwind on your field, but also giving you a double summon. So it's like a free search without even using up your normal summon. You put this on the field, summon this, and then you can search your whole deck for something. And then you can normal summon again to get the effect of Black Whirlwind again. This does not always happen. If you do not draw this, you're just relying on what you already have. If you happen to already have Black Whirlwind, fantastic. But because we have 3 Black Whirlwind and 3 Simoon, we are generally going to be kind of consistent. So let's just go from stats highest to lowest real quick here. First, the Crack of Dawn, you can once per turn, special summon it if you control a Blackwing other than another copy of itself. So I say once per turn because if you have 3 copies in your hand, you can normal summon one and special summon the other. You cannot special summon the second one. That is the downside of the card. The rest of the card is all upside. It is 19 attack. That can already search the whole deck. But with Mountain, it's 21. So you could attack with it for insane damage in Duel Links. And, so this one's the best, I feel, because it can search pretty much any card. But it also has the effect that once per turn, if it would be destroyed by a spell or trap, destroyed specifically, it is not. Next on the list is Bora the Spear. If you control a Blackwing other than itself, like another copy of itself, you can just special summon it from your hand. It also does piercing damage. That's all you need to know about it. It's a level 4. That's the important part. Next up, Zephoros the Elite. This cannot special summon itself from your hand. However, it can special summon itself from your grave once per duel, or returning a card you control to your hand. And if you do, you special summon it. So you can't return an extra deck card, for example. It has to be a face-up main deck card to your hand, and then you special summon itself, and then you take 400 damage. So, be careful. You don't need to be that careful, but be a little bit careful. Next on the list, oh, by the way, once per duel, because if you could do this more than once, it would be absolutely busted. Anyway, next up is Gale the Whirlwind. This is our primary tuner in the deck. It is a tuner special summon itself if you have something other than something of the same name, and you can target your opponent's monster and apply the lingering effect to make its attack half of its attack. So because it's lingering and sets it to an exact amount, other attack editing like effects won't work on it, unless another effect of the same kind happens to it, like another Gale the Whirlwind, for example. But yeah, the main thing we're using this for is maybe baiting out disruptions, but mostly it's a level 3 tuner to help you go into your level 7 synchros. Last one is Orochi the Squall. We play one, we do not want to draw it. Our main usage of this card, it does have an effect, but we don't really use it. It's just to specialist summon itself, just like any other Blackwing, to use with our level 6 Simoon to make a level 7 synchro. When it comes to those level 7 synchros, the best one is Raikiri, the Rain Shower, or you can call it Kakashi if you like. So when it synchro summons using a Blackwing, it becomes a tuner, but that's not really relevant. Essentially, what you can do with this is, for every other Blackwing you control, you can target and destroy your opponent's cards. This is a soft once per turn, so if they kill it, you can revive it with Obsidian Hulk Joe, which is, all it does really, it does have another effect, but all it really does in this particular deck is it'll target a level like 5 or higher, Blackwing for the purposes of this deck, and then special summon it. So it gives you some longevity with your Raikiri. We also have Chidori, which you can call Sasuke. It essentially gains 300 attack for every Blackwing in your grave, which on top of the mountain giving it 200 attack. This is essentially like, man, if the only thing you need is damage, you just poke them with this guy and they're dead in one shot. Hulkjo also has the effect that if it were targeted for an attack or for a card effect and no other cards, you can redirect that target to one of your other Blackwings. It's pretty nice. It doesn't happen. Realistically, it doesn't happen. And then Chidori, when it dies, you also get to revive like one of these guys essentially, but that also doesn't really happen. But just keep that in mind. It can happen. I used to play this deck a lot in tournaments. I topped a lot of tournaments with this archetype a couple of years ago. But yeah, the main stars of the show are the Dark Xyz rank 4s. The reason they're dark is, unfortunately, Simoon actually locks us into dark monsters when you use its effect. So, we could use like other really good rank 4s, but because Simoon locks us into dark, it's best to just not waste extra deck space. We have 3. This one's great, just for removing problematic monsters that maybe cannot be destroyed or something. You just target your opponent's monster by detaching a material and banish it till the end of the turn. This one I explained a little bit earlier. It flips down monsters on summon, not once per turn, so you can do it twice. Dilterum Roach, not once per turn. You can negate essentially synchro summons. You can negate synchro summons. That's essentially who you're playing this against. If you see your opponent's using a 5Ds character, summon this on them and they'll cry. But yeah, that's the deck. Let's just get into the gameplay, shall we? Without any further ado. So here, you might have seen in the short, we are actually going against the mirror match right now. And because we are going first, we'll get to show off. We have a Whirlwind, we have a level 4. We use our first level 4 to go into a second, and we go into Evil Swarm Nightmare. This is game. Alright, he's going to use his Black Whirlwind. I don't think he's read my Xyz yet. He's going to summon Gale. Then he's going to special summon his level 4. I'm going to flip it down to prevent him from synchro summoning. I believe he reads it now, and he's like, okay, I probably better not summon something else, because he's just going to do the same thing again and lock me down. So he just decided to kill me, which I'm perfectly fine with, because then I get to follow up with an OTK. He knows what Blackwings do, because he's playing it. So he's going to let me play, see if I have the full combo. I summon Kakashi. Yeah, I target his cards, then he scoots. Easy. Alright, so I'm going against DDDs. I'm not sure why they're playing Yuya, but they are. But, regardless, I'm going first, so I go into Evil Swarm Nightmare. My opponent does not know that the last card in my hand is a brick. If it weren't a brick, it would be such an easy OTK, you know what I mean? Oroshi's the one you never want to hit, but he's going to use DD Dog to try to negate my thing, but because it's a pendulum scale, my lance can protect it because the pendulum scales are treated as spells. So he's going to go into Beowulf. I'm going to flip it down. He's going to use his Swell Slime to summon something else. I'm going to flip it down. His entire play, even though I don't have a follow-up yet, maybe I'll draw one, he scoops because I just stopped him. That's just the power of Evil Swarm Nightmare, bro. How are they supposed to know? I'm going second here. They're actually playing Stellar Knights. I'm not gonna lie, I actually found a decent amount of Stellar Knight players for some reason. I don't know why all of a sudden people are playing Stellar Knights. I faced like 5, you know, like this week, I think. But yeah, they're gonna discard my play starter. Unfortunately for him, I get another one. Simoon is gonna let me essentially go full combo. I have the lance to protect from his one back row. Yeah, searching for Zephoros is fantastic because it's essentially 2 monsters, considering I can re-summon it after, you know, using it as material. I'm going to summon Raikiri, summon my Gale, destroy both of his cards. He's going to try to Fiendish Chain. I'm going to Forbidden Lance, so I'm going to be fine. He's going to float and search. Unfortunately for him, I have Overwhelming Lethal on board. I'm going to summon Sasuke. And then I'm going to re-summon Zephoros by returning my Whirlwind. By the way, if you return a Whirlwind that was put on the field by Simoon, Simoon will not send it to the graveyard on end phase. I probably forgot to say that the turn that you put Whirlwind on the field with Simoon, it does actually go to the grave on the end phase, and you take 1,000 damage. But by summoning your Zephoros, that is prevented. But yeah, GG, easy life. Going first against I'm going first against Thunder Dragons here. You know, they're just gonna go ahead and use their dark, you know, get it out of the way so they're not annoying me. Thank you to the opponent. I'm gonna use, my hand is so bad. I really do not want to banish my Orochi. This is the only one I have, but still I am able to get the Zephoros, which gets me the Bora, which gets me the Nightmare, which prevents my opponent from being able to play through me. It's going to be hard for them to be able to do anything because I'm just going to flip it face down. He has, you know, 2 Dragon Darks, which reveals he has no Levianeers in his deck. He's going to use Raiden. He's going to use Dragon Roar to get back one of his Darks. He's not going to special summon anything because I think he used Red Nightmare. That is one part of the power of Nightmare, is if your opponent knows what it does, they will try to not special summon. But yeah, we just go in for game. We just had lethal, you know what I mean? So I'm going second against what looks to be an Archfiend deck. And this is not really a very good deck. I'm not gonna lie. It's just, you know, I had a 9-game win streak. I just wanted to show you all the games, you know. This deck is one of my favorite decks. Like the Archfiend deck, it was like one of my favorite decks during the format. It was like Sylvan format, you know. Shoutouts if you guys remember Sylvan format. But yeah, it's not a very good deck these days. It's very easy to stop them from doing what they're doing. But yeah. Second again, and I'm going against Red Eyes. I know that Red Eyes have that one trap that allows them to like snatch your opponent's monster like as an equip, so they can have a decent turn one. I don't know about this guy though. He's just gonna search for Red Eyes Fusion, summon his big guy, and hope that it's enough to survive just by floating, because this is the guy that floats into a normal from grave. But yeah, he's gonna burn me a bit. He's got his one back row and his one set monster. I don't have Simoon, but I have Whirlwind, so I'm gonna summon my biggest monster. Search for another Gale so I can make 2 synchro summons. Summon Gale, use its effect because I'm gonna synchro summon anyway. Summon Kakashi. You know, gonna summon Bora and my other Gale. Up 2 of his monsters. I'm not gonna use Gale yet because I know he's gonna re-summon another monster. Better to use Gale on that one. I'm gonna summon my Sasuke now. I'm gonna keep Lance in hand just in case. I don't kill him this turn, but he's not really gonna be able to break my board with just the 2 cards in his hand. Yeah, he's just gonna use Cosmic Cyclone, and the last card in his hand is useless. I'm going second against Necros here. They're just gonna search for the thing that like ends the battle phase, which I'm cool with because I feel like I can play through it. He's going to have the Black Whirlwind. I actually top deck Blackbird Close, which pretty much says, hey man, end the battle phase. Whatever effect you use on your turn, I'm going to negate it anyway. So I'm glad that I got to have Blackbird Close in one of my replays. I only have it in one copy of my deck, so it's not the most common for me to have it. But I have the full combo, the fullest of full combos. I opened Whirlwind and Simoon, which means I get to go all the way off. Gonna make my level 7 Kakashi. Gonna go into Sasuke as well. Summon an additional Zephoros to prevent myself from taking 1,000 on end phase. Keep Blackbird close in my hand because I can use it from my hand if I control Blackwing Synchro. He's going to summon Gungnir and for some reason not use its effect, so I can't really negate it with close. If he had summoned Trishula, he would have used his effect on summon and I would have negated it, but he's using Gungnir instead. He's trying to keep himself alive. He's going to attack my guy. I am going to summon a monster, baiting him, to use his effect. I'm going to use Blackbird Close to negate it and destroy it, summon Blackwing Dragon from the extra deck. He's going to use Valkyris, but unfortunately on his turn he's only going to have one card. He can't beat everything I have. He does his search, but he has nothing. So I'm going first now. So you know what I do when I go first? I will set up an interruption, which is going to be difficult for my opponent to play through. So I'm going to use Simoon, search for Zephoros. I'm always searching for Zephoros. I have one copy, just because I only want to search for it. And it is once per duel at the end of the day. So I'm going to summon my Nightmare, set lands to protect my Nightmare. Take 1,000, unfortunately. But that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. He's going to summon Vion. He's playing heroes. If I go first against heroes, I am not overly stressed because I only need to stop the summons that truly matter. He's going to summon his Sunrise. I'm going to flip that one down. Fun fact, he's going to try to chain block, but this guy does not care about chain blocking. He will still flip down the monster. He's going to use Miracle Fusion. He's actually not going to use it. He's going to set back row, but I can tell he's a hero player. He does not play that much back row. Alright, he's baiting. So I'm going to use Sin. He's going to use Floodgate. I'm going to Lance to protect my guy. The other cards are obviously normal spells, because he's search firm. I'm going to Tribute Summon so I can attack for game, and he scoops it up. So yet again, I am actually going second against the Teller Knights. I told you I've been going against this deck a lot, but yeah, he's going to negate my Black Whirlwind, which is technically the right move, but it allows me to win because I still have the Simoon. I'm going to banish the Gale because it's the smallest monster in my hand. I can just search another one. I'm going to go into my Raikiri. I have the Lance to protect it from his Book of Moon. I have not used my normal summon for the turn yet, so I'm just going to summon Bora the Spear, searching for another one. I don't need to summon more and waste his time. I'm just going to attack for game. But yeah, he scoops it up. So my thoughts on the Blackwing archetype at the moment is that this is the way that you should be playing it. The new stuff, if you really love Kalut and you love that, the Nothing Synchro. I'm not throwing shade at the Nothing Synchro. It is literally named Nothing. If you really love those cards, go ahead and play them. I just think that they don't actually contribute to a game plan. Hey man, getting more normal summons for your Black Whirlwind is actually fantastic. I cannot deny how good that is. However, we only have 3 monster zones. We are limited to what we can accomplish in a Blackwing deck. Maybe when we get the extra monster zone, when Link monsters come, maybe I'll consider that. But at the end of the day, I don't like Kalut that much. It's always been a good card in the TCG. It's just, people don't play it right now in the TCG. I don't think we should play it right now. Duel Links either, because it's just a battle hand trap. It does not interrupt your opponent. It doesn't stop them from destroying our field. It just, helps in battle. Who cares? You know what I mean? We have Sasuke. What need do we have of Kalut? You know what I mean? We have Raikiri. We're going to kill their monsters anyway. Why do we need, a battle trick? But yeah. Rambling aside, this deck, I think, is really fun. Being able to flip down your opponent's monsters as they're playing. It's broken, man. I'm not gonna lie. Summoning this, as you saw on the DD clip, is enough to win the game, I think. Yeah. But you know, let me know how you feel about it in the comments. And if you like the video, subscribe if you're new, and if you don't like the video, then piss off.